Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room. I am the least racist person in this room. I am the least racist person in this room.
I'm about to be 34 and I have no family.
That's not because of capitalism per se. So you have to understand, this isn't just because of capitalism. This is because of choices that politicians make inside our economic system.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. 8 months after his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. A real beautiful company. Not good. Believe me, not good.
Look, talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple the amount of money we spend from 15 to 45 billion a year. School, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. School, not school, not school, not school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words. Very poor school, a very poor background. School, not daycare. School, very poor school. School, not daycare. School.
They had a very bad original concept. It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups. Very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up, and they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint, when they thought about it. Because running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
The battle of righteousness versus Satan. Yes, Satan. Because these leftists are evil.
And by the way, I don't think that's some grand conspiracy. I think this is sort of what power is. I mean this at a sort of high level.
You know, the truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, in a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was.
Antifa exists. Antifa exists. Antifa exists.
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
What you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. And he's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And this is on live television.
Bottom line, the American dream, the great American dream versus being a socialist hellhole.
And he's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And this is on live television.
Is this thing on? Is this on live television? Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the fucking phone, everybody. Hold the phone. Anyway, that's my little joke. I love holding the phone. Welcome, everyone. This is Above It All, episodic installation 1055. This is for December 21st, 2020, the year of our Lord. And when I say our Lord, I really mean your Lord, because I'm an atheist. I don't have a Lord. So that's y'all shit. But anyway, I just fucking moved and my back cracked. My spinal cord just collapsed. And I'm not feeling so good about that. But either way, I will try to pull through. And I will try to pull through this cable here. As you can see, this cable, I've got to pull it through so that it doesn't, it doesn't fuck me up. But hopefully everyone's having a good morning. Hopefully you had a very fibrous breakfast. I did. In fact, I was so fibrous that I'm full right now because of all the fiber that was in my breakfast. Just a little words of advice here. Peanut butter, good source of fiber. Check it out. Good source of protein. Very good stuff. So, hopefully everyone's doing pretty good. I've got some news, and then I've got some olds, because that's the opposite of news. You have new, and then you have old, and then it's the news, and then this is my poor attempt at humor. I'm just a jag-off comedian. Hello, Bliarg. Hello, Praxis Bay. Hello, Aunt Tifa. Hello, Gonzo Kaufman. You love the song during the intro? Me too. Me too. Hashtag me too. Hello, Kentucky Fried Comrade. And hello, Praxis Bay again, because I forgot I said hello to you. And hello, JL, for the super chat. Above it all, within fire emojis. I like fire emojis. And, I like fire in general. Unfortunately, I don't have any fire at this current moment, but if I did, I would, I would show you how much I love fire. But all I've got is this really cringy blowtorch lighter, because my other ones ran out of gasoline. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Gonzo, the song is Supanova, Supanova, from the video game Gubble, which I have the world record in, coincidentally. The video game Gubble, this game right here, I don't have the case for you because it's somewhere on the floor, and I'm not going to go scavenging on the floor. This is the game that I speedrun, every now and again. But that's the game Gubble. Should I wear my hat today? What do you think? Should I wear the hat today? I'm gonna wear the hat today. There you go. See, I've got the hat on. Look at me. Look, I'm a cartoon character. Look, I'm wacky and zany. You see all this? Look at me. That's who I am. Hello, Twam. I do love me some peanut butter. God bless, right? You get the crunchy peanut butter for the extra fiber. We've had this conversation before, and I don't want to relitigate this, but I am a proud member of the doo-doo-ass left. Me too, actually. Me too. Though I'm going to be honest, this is a children's show. There may be children watching this, so if we could please rename it to Doo-Doo Butt Left, I would appreciate that. Again, we've got kids watching. Z50 in the chat room. Z50, didn't you say you were going to tell your kid about my stream? Didn't you, tell me that? Didn't you just like a couple of weeks ago, you were like, my kid's a Bernie bro or something. Where's your kid at? What's going on? Right? I have the hat on. Look, I've got my little Bernie pin from South Carolina, right? When everything went wrong. I always think about the alternate universe where I didn't work on the Bernie campaign in South Carolina and they won. Like, I feel like it was all me, right? Like, I was on the sidelines and then I was like, let's go to South Carolina, right? And then everything went wrong from that point. I feel like I was a bad omen of some sort. But hey, what are you going to do? Hello, guy in a gorilla suit. Oh, guy in a gorilla suit. That actually, what are you going to do? Sunflower butter is better than peanut butter. I've never had sunflower butter. Oh, he's got COVID. That sucks. Did you tell him it wasn't real? Like you told my chat room for the last 6 months? Z50. For those of you that don't know, Z50's a Trump supporter. They're a hardcore Trumper. But, I love my Trumper friends, right? How am I going to de-radicalize far right-wing 50, 60-year-olds if they don't watch my stream every day? Right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But as Donald Trump said himself...
Only the really... I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ...
Unbelievable. By the way, the context of that clip... Only those with the lowest IQ would follow the law. That's what he said. If you follow the law, you got a low IQ. I don't know. Like, sure, he's the law and order candidate, right? The law and order candidate. But if you follow the law, then you got a low IQ. What are you going to do? Hello, Arusio. They say Arusio. Pronounce it Arusio. A real beautiful username. Anyway, let's talk about stuff, right? Let's do this. Like, I love stuff. In fact, the only thing I love more than stuff is actually free stuff. And that's why I'm a communist, because I love free stuff. And so the government is, of course, in the last election, obviously communists won. We have a communist president, and the Communist Party is trying to take the Senate right now. So the communists in government are saying, we're going to give everyone in government $600, right? Because obviously we're all flush with cash. And the best way to give, more people more cash is just free $600. I know right now I'm a working class American, right? Some would even say I'm on the lowest rung of the ladder, but we're in the richest country in the history of the world, right? So clearly my savings account, I've got so much money, I couldn't even count it all, right? That's how much money I have. That's why I have to have a savings account, because I can't possibly count all this money that I've got, right? So yeah, the government's giving us $600. And when I say that, I'm not even going to bother reading this article. Who cares? It's from USA Today. Who gives a shit what USA Today has to say, right? Like, look at this. Look at this image, right? You see this image? I can't even open this image in a new tab, right? Oh, because it's a video. That's why? Of course, right? The only good part about this page was the image with Ben Franklin and a mask on. And now I can't even get it back. I'm trying to refresh and it won't come back. So thank you, USA Today. Fuck this bullshit. But anyway, let's talk. Speaking of fuck this bullshit, right? What the fuck is this bullshit? Serious. Okay, so the government, right, of the United States of America, which is, the country that unfortunately I happen to reside in, is giving us $600? What? Like, I know, right? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you want to know what I think about these $600?
Bad deal. Should have never been thought of. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint, when they thought about it.
That's what I think about $600. Should have stopped at the deal standpoint. And the idea that it did not stop at the deal standpoint, where they thought about it, that leads me to believe that these guys are dumb as hell. They're dumb as shit. Let me put this back on, right? Just because, that way I have something on the video feed. Look at this. Look, this got, the whole fucking, I just want that Ben Franklin image back. And of course, there's no, seeking. Yes, there is, actually. Is there a Ben Franklin here? What the fuck? Okay, let's get some avocados on the screen. But anyway, you know my opinion on this. $600? Are you kidding me? We got $1,200 when only, I think, when did we get $1,200? What was the death count at that point? Wasn't it 15, 20,000 or something when we got the 1,200? I did refresh the page, dude. It's gone. It's gone. The shit's gone. Look, I'm pressing F5. It's going to make your head spin how many times I press F5. Do I have to clear my fucking cache to get the Ben Franklin back? I don't know. But my point, yeah. So we got $1,200 when this pandemic was still kind of an unknown quantity. We knew it was a big deal, right? but it was still like, we didn't really know how big of a deal it would be. And they gave us $1,200, right? Now, obviously, they wanted to do that as a cover for the biggest upward wealth transfer in American history. Duh. No shit, right? But you're going to tell us, right? You're going to tell us that we survived, right? Friends of ours are dead. Family members of ours are dead. We are barely surviving. And you're going to give us less money? What? An eviction moratorium expiring this month is going to leave upwards of 10 plus million people without a home by January, by the time the president-elect is sworn in, right? And you're only going to give us $600, right? People have upwards of $5,000 in back due rent that they can't pay for because they don't have a job, and you're going to give us $600 fucking dollars? What? What? I reiterate this.
Dumb people, liberal people.
Like, I seriously, and the Democrats, right? They're pretending like this is a win. They're like, oh yes, we got the bipartisan, oh yes indeed, oh man. Like, what the fuck? Bipartisan? I don't give a shit. More like die partisan, because we're all gonna fucking die in this fucking hellhole disaster, right? But again, like, this is, they don't want you to think, oh shit, the government might help me out. They want you to know that the government doesn't give a fuck about you. That's what this is. This is chump change. What I say, right, is fuck this Medicare for all floor vote thing that Jimmy Dore is going on about. I say we use our stimulus check, we all fly to Washington, and we sit down in front of the Capitol and not move for as long as it takes until we get what we deserve. Because this shit, let me just tell you, it's no good. It's no good. That's what I have to say about that. Hopefully everyone enjoyed my fiery speech, right? There you go. See? That's what I do. I'm a speaker. I'm a speaker. That's what I do. I speak. No, but seriously though, it's some bullshit. $600 can buy you maybe 2 weeks of rent. Or I could get 3 ounces of marijuana and then just forget that I can't pay rent. That's a better idea, personally. But you know, what are you gonna do? Funny how McTurtle took credit. Help is on the way. Yeah, he's only doing this for the Georgia runoff. Bad at deals. I love deals. Especially the ones that get past the deal standpoint. 1/3 the price for rent in a 1-bedroom in California. Well, it's actually, what you have to understand here is that, like, this stimulus money, right? That would pay you maybe a week for the maid that you've got in your $1.9 million rambling compound that you're buying in California. You can get some maid service for a couple weeks, right? That's what I would do with my stimulus check, because I'm a progressive YouTube host, right? So I'm just going to go hire a maid to clean up my fucking $1.9 million mansion for a little bit. And, you know, boosting the economy. Someone's getting money, right? Hell yeah. Sign me up. So we got a lot of fun stories today. Fun and then not so fun, and then like also then some more fun ones. And then yeah, so like that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm just gonna give y'all a heads up. I will not be streaming later today. I will not. I gotta like look at the camera more. I tend to like kind of like I don't know. I'm bad at focusing. Let me look at the camera, motherfucker. Right? That's right. I'm holding the camera right now, so we're in like this is uncharted territory. Right, so I will not be streaming later today, just so you understand. That will not be happening. This is the only live stream for today. I'm letting you know. Okay, there's your warning. Now you know, so don't expect anything else from me today, unless you're paying me. If you want to pay me, then maybe I'll stream. Like, give me like $100 and I'll stream. But otherwise, I'm not going to do so today. Though I will be streaming a lot more tomorrow, so I'm just throwing that out there. It's out there now, right? You can decipher for yourself, you know? But yeah, so I've got multiple things here that I could talk about. I could talk about dumbass cops, right? I got a couple of cop stories, because fuck the police, right? I could talk about stupid ass statues, right? Don't we all love statues? Just kidding, we hate statues. That's why we got to get rid of them, right? Or I can talk about the Republican Party, just like not like really doing so well. I don't know. There's lots of things. Let's go with this one. Boom, right? The Republicans, they're not looking so good. Right, so the Republicans are desperate to avoid floor fight over the Electoral College vote. This is coming out of The Hill. We got some funny quotes here, okay, y'all? This is some good fucking stuff, right? And now, again, I want to preempt this in the words of our president.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Now, this is what I think about the rest of the story, so now you understand. Okay, so let's read. National Republicans are desperate to avoid a floor fight in Congress over the certification of the Electoral College vote next month. Reminder, I just saw this, that Mike Pence is apparently going to leave the country, like, the night of January 6th. He's planning on leaving the country. Like, he's afraid for his life. That guy is getting out of there, right? Believing it would be horrible politics to continue waging what most recognize to be a hopeless battle to overturn the outcome of the election. Senate Majority Leader Mitch the Bitch McConnell has intervened, asking his members not to join Republican Representative Mo Brooks, R, Alaska, or any other House members looking to object to the results on January 6th when the Congress meets to certify the Electoral College count. President Trump is waging a pressure campaign to get senators to revolt. Incoming Senator Tommy Tuberville, I gotta make more videos about this guy. I made like a couple of videos about this guy like 6-7 months ago. Tommy Tuberville, I swear to God, holy shit, man. Holy shit. I will make more videos about this guy, don't you worry, because this, holy shit, man. But either way, who will be sworn in on January 3rd, has said he'll join the floor fight, and Senator Ron Paul, who has said he believes the election was stolen from Trump, is always a wild card. I do think Rand Paul is Rand Paul is one of those, like, you know, what's going on here, right? Well, that's the kind of Rand Paul vibe, right? I already read that. Republican strategists are hoping Mitch McConnell can quash the insurgency, believing the debate over Trump's refusal to accept the outcome of the 2020 election is tearing the party apart, ahead of the January 5th runoff elections in Georgia that will determine the balance of power in the Senate. Right, so here we got some really epic quotes here. And again, I want to reiterate this. This is the words of our president.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
All right, so Brooks needs only one partner in the Senate to object to the results. And he may have that in Paul or Tuberville. Even if their objections are approved by the Senate, it would kick the results back to the states, where the governors would in all likelihood, recertify the results. This is all about kicking the can down the road. And I'm telling you this right now, right? Because I'm in the YouTube space. I get comments from these people. It's all about kicking the can down the road. First, it was MAGA 2020 landslide, November 3rd. Then it was like, the states haven't been called yet. The states haven't been called yet. Then it was the Electoral College vote on the 14th. The Electoral College votes in December. Now it's the January 6th. It's going to go to Congress, right? And then it's going to go to the states. This is going to go to the states. It's all about kicking the can down the road so that these dumb motherfuckers, right, in the media space can keep writing articles, can keep making podcast episodes, making more and more money off of this dumbass fucking grift. That's all it is. It's a grift for money. And then Donald Trump is literally fundraising, like, and again, the fine print says, unless you give me more than $5,000, it's going straight to my bank account. What? Like, this is all a huge grift. It's all about kicking the can down the road as long as they can. You know, I hate to use the word can twice in one sentence in different fashions, but, you know, whatever. Redundancies aside, it's kicking the gosh darn can down the can, right? Brooks said Friday on Newsmax, oh geez, here we go, that it is an absolute right for Republicans to fight to decertify the election results in states where he says the election systems were badly flawed. These are all words that don't mean anything. They were flawed. Yeah, they were flawed. I know we've been looking into the election fraud for months now, and we have found zero evidence of election fraud, but they were flawed. Yeah, like, it doesn't mean anything. I've also just want to say, I've got another story here that's really epic. I'm going to do this one after, where ex-cops were chasing down an air conditioner salesman because they thought he was secretly transferring like 1 million ballots, right? Like, these people are crazy, but I'll get into that in a second, okay? I know how some of these Congress critters and Senate critters try to avoid being courageous. Wait, hold up. Let me get you the actual backdrop here. Let's go. Oh shit, it's on mute. I'm so sorry. I ruined the comedic timing. All right, y'all. I know how some of these Congress critters and the Senate critters try to avoid being courageous when it comes to what they call difficult votes, Brooks said. But in my mind, that's what we were elected to do. I can only control my own vote. how am I going to conduct myself concerning this voter fraud and election theft, right? Election theft, right? These motherfuckers are crazy, and you can read the rest of this article yourself if you'd like to do so. These motherfuckers are nuts. Like, they're out of control. Like, seriously. Like, oh my god, right? Like these guys, like remember, like, a couple of years ago when it was Russia, they stole the election, Russia, right? And we all made fun of them, right? And then there's these motherfuckers, right, that kept doing it for years and years and years. And I think that that's what the Trump base is going to do, right? The Trump base is going to be, this is their Russia. Like, they're going to be doing this, like, 3 years from now. You're gonna see a Republican commenter on one of my YouTube videos, right? In 3 years. And they're gonna say, Joe Biden stole the presidency, right? Meanwhile, by the way, Donald Trump legit stole the presidency in 2016. He lost, motherfucker. The guy lost the fucking vote in 2016 and was installed as president. How is that any more legitimate than this situation, right? Joe Biden won the popular vote and the Electoral College. Failed election, flawed, right? Donald Trump loses the popular vote and wins the Electoral College. Perfectly legitimate system. Historic. A landslide. It's like, right? These motherfuckers are nuts. They're out of control. And it's really funny to watch them melt down. And I'm going to continue to cover their meltdown because it's free entertainment. I just get to mock them every day. And it's great. Imagine, right? Like, this is what I do, right? I get money for this. I get paid in YouTube advertisements to make fun of dumbass Republicans. That's great. Sign me up, right? Hell yes. Anyway, these guys are crazy. Beta Soy Boy says, the Dems and Republicans both work for the same plutocracy, and the only hope for any equality, equity, liberation for wage servants is revolution. Now, I do agree with that, but I don't think we're close to a revolution. I'm sorry. Like, I know, right? It sucks, but I think we're going to have to wait until after the pandemic. And then maybe we can start putting those plans into action. Like, if we didn't have to worry about a pandemic, we could do historic sit-ins, marches on Washington. We could do all of this stuff if we didn't have to worry about a viral disease. And I think that we should start planning those things, personally. Biden wins. Make America socialism. I love socialism. I'm a socialist who loves socialism. Hell yes. I'm buying a gun with my $600. I would buy a gun, but I would rather buy weed. I'm going to be honest. Take any reform along the way, but climate catastrophe, if nothing else, will be the cap. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's going to be a rude awakening in the next 10 years. Hello, Sheriff. Hello. Any chance I can lean on you to reply to my Reddit message? Are you near a convenience, boo? I have a different username on there. All right, I'll do that right now. This is what happens. You gotta assault me when I'm streaming, and then what am I gonna do? Say no? Right? I will lose my credibility if I say no. I will be lambasted. I will be on the chopping block, right? If I say no, if I deny the request of a precious user. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you want to talk on Signal? That's fine. That's fine. Oh my goodness. So many walls of text. I got bombarded here with the walls of text. It's all good though. I'm gonna read the walls of text later. But if you want to talk on Signal, like DM me your Signal number and then I'll hit you up after the stream is over. So, that's fine with me. Imagine assaulting Saturday1531. Couldn't be me. Yeah, I know, right? Imagine. Hello, Bass of PJ. Use your $600 to start buying supplies for mutual aid. Put it toward the few food shares, free stores. We don't need guns. We need materials for survival. I agree with that, to be honest with you. I think there's very high likelihood of food shortages coming up in the winter over the next couple months, just like we had in March, I think. So that's I'm definitely when I get my $600, I'm gonna spend at least $100 on just like canned goods. Soup for my family, they say. This is soup for my family. That's the thing about soup for your family, is you can get it, right? And then if there is a protest, all of a sudden, right, you got soup for your family, right? And if there's not a protest, you got soup for your family, right? Like, that's the thing. Either way, you got soup for your family. So it's pretty good. It's bass, like the musical instrument. Yeah, like bass. Like Mega Man and bass. The Super Nintendo, or I should say, the Super Famicom game. Well, technically that's called Rockman and Forte, but that translates to Mega Man and bass. I love Mega Man and bass. I also love soup for my family. So, what are you gonna do? All right, let's read this dumbass bullshit that I mentioned. All right, so an ex-cop, right? This guy was so much of a cop, he had to leave the force, and then he was still a cop, right? This ex-cop hits truck thinking it held 750,000 fraudulent ballots, police say. It held air conditioning parts. Right now, like, what else?
No good. No good.
This is just like, again, this is really bad.
No good. Really bad for you. Not good. Believe me, not good.
Like, this is just like a very, 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 very comical situation. So, right. This guy thought that a truck was like delivering millions of ballots. Like, yeah, in a truck. Like, yep, I'm just riding along my highway, just delivering some ballots. Like, what? All right, let's read. David Lopez Zuniga, an air conditioner installer, had just left his mobile home for his typical pre-dawn commute when he noticed an SUV's headlights closely trailing his small cargo truck. Within seconds, the SUV swerved alongside the passenger side, striking the truck and forcing Lopez Zuniga to the side of a highway. There, he said the SUV's driver feigned an injury before ordering Lopez Zuniga to the ground at gunpoint. Right? I was very scared, Lopez Zuniga said in an interview with the Washington Post. I didn't know who this person was. Why is there a comma here? Lopez Zuniga said in an interview with the Washington Post. Why is there a comma here? The Washington Post just throwing commas there? Like, I've heard of an Oxford comma, but this is ridiculous, right? As it turned out, the incident was the extraordinary culmination of a misguided undercover surveillance operation financed by a conservative nonprofit group and carried out by private investigators. Interesting. That sought to uncover a massive election fraud scheme before the November election. Police said that Lopez Zuniga, 39, was the victim of a bogus conspiracy theory alleging he was involved in transporting 750,000 mail-in ballots fraudulently signed by Hispanic children whose fingerprints could not be traced. What the fuck, right? But these guys are nuts. After an investigation into the October 19th incident, authorities last week charged the SUV's driver, who was a private investigator and former Houston police captain, with assault with a deadly weapon. The private investigator, 63-year-old Mark A. Aguirre, pleaded not guilty on Friday. His lawyer says the case is politically motivated. So, okay, let me get this straight, right? Let me get this straight. So, you illegally tail someone, pull them over, and point a gun at their face. That's not politically motivated, right? Because you thought they had like 750 like Hispanic children ballots, right? That's not political motivation at all. No. That's completely normal behavior. But when the other guy is like, bro, what are you doing? That's a politically motivated response. Duh. When you ask someone, yo, why are you pointing a gun at me? Clearly, there's no other motivation behind that question other than politics. It's not like, holy shit, there's someone pointing a gun at me. Why are they doing that? It's not like, oh, I fear for my life. No, it's, I'm going to be a political messenger right now. Why, sir, are you pointing this gun at me? Why? It's like, what the fuck? Like, imagine actually saying that, right? You gotta be a dullard. You gotta be a dullard of the highest variety. And again, I'm just gonna quote the president here.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Right, like, again, Lopez Zuniga allowed police to search his home, a shed behind his house and his truck, where they found no evidence of voter fraud. There apparently were not 1 million children in his basement that were illegally signing ballots. Go figure, right? The police affidavit said, What they found in the truck instead, air conditioning repair equipment. Again, I'm sorry.
I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Again, like, this is the Donald Trump America, right? Like, this motherfucking dullard is, like, convincing people that air conditioner repairmen are, like, harvesting millions of Hispanic children's fingerprints. It's like... I have no comment. I have none. I have none whatsoever. God damn it. I just, like... I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. I have no thing, because I've got nothing. Holy fucking shit. I am pointing a gun at you because my material conditions dictate so. Yeah, I mean, if someone's an ex-cop, right, they've probably got an axe to grind. They just have to investigate everyone and make up a fan fiction about how they're criminals. You ever do that game where you're like, you know, you're on a road trip and you just like point at a car. It's like, yeah, the person in that car, they're a mass murderer. They're a serial killer. Let's fight like, you know, when you're like 6 years old or something, you know, like, but no, this guy's like 62 or whatever. Whatever. Million Hispanic children harvesting their fingerprints. That's totally real. If I donate, will you react to a Steven Crowder video right now? I mean, maybe. It depends on the video. The baby neck to adrenochrome pipeline needs to be expanded at every chance. I wish I knew what that meant. These dummies fell for Pizzagate, too. Yeah, I mean... Again, you convince these guys that they're like... You know how cops act? Like, they're like, it's the thin blue line. We're the defense of anarchy, right? They convince themselves that they're like the protagonist in like, you know, like Olympus Has Fallen 3 or something, right? They convince themselves that they're the main character in like a fucking movie, right? Like this Dan Crenshaw like video like kind of thing where he's jumping out of the plane and going like, whoa, right? Like they convince themselves that they're in like an action film and they're the main characters and they're going to save the day. And if that's the case, oh, when I point a gun at an innocent civilian, I'm just trying to save the world. I'm just trying to save the world, so it's okay. Like, you know in the action movies where the cop, right, like finds a lead and then they break all the rules and they catch the bad guy at the end, right? Well, imagine that, except instead of the bad guy at the end, it's just some dude selling air conditioners. And that's the situation here that we're dealing with. Yeah, not good. The conspiracy theory, which has recently been trickling through the Hindutva channels, is that the global elite are harvesting adrenochrome from abortions or something. Sounds pretty epic. I don't really have anything RN, but really anything anti-climate change is the big ones that make me angry. I mean, if you want to send me something for later, I will be more likely to do it. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. All right, so speaking of dumbass police, right? Don't you just hate the cops? Like, I know, I'm a biased individual. Like, look at me, I hate the cops, right? Look at me, look at this cop hater, right? That's what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, this dumb bitch is a cop hater. Like, obviously she's gonna give a biased fucking report here, right? But I've got this here. This is from Wavy, I believe, right? And this is actually local to me. I live about an hour south of Virginia Beach. I've been there before. I've got family there. So I'm like, okay, right? This is in the local news. Let's check this out. Now, this is a multifaceted story. It's not like anything crazy, but it's just really interesting and really funny. And it just goes to show, one, how broken our society is, two, how racist cops are, and then three, like, just what the fuck?
And this also just into the Wavy newsroom. Virginia Beach police chief says the department is reviewing a viral video showing officers handcuffing and...
Now, I just want to say, you know, for the record, okay? It is December. This is taking place in a mall. Look and notice, the person being arrested has a mask on. Now, they're eating in a mall, so I don't really... But, like, they've got a mask on. The cops? Of course not. Of course, right? Of course the cops are waddling through malls, like being infectious disease hosts, right? And then, like, you know, getting in the faces of people. Because why not? They're super soldiers, right? They're like bioweapons. That's what these cops are. They're literal bioweapons, like out of Resident Evil. But let's watch.
Officers handcuffing and ultimately releasing a man yesterday at the Lynn Haven Mall. In a statement, Chief Paul Newdigate says officers approached a man who matched the description of a reported suspect, handcuffed him, and escorted him outside. That description was of an African-American man with dreadlocks, wearing black with a child.
That description, a black guy with dreadlocks and a kid. Wow. Wow. Like, I know these guys are super sleuths, right? This is like the modern incarnation of Sherlock Holmes. Like, this motherfucker was like, wait, a black guy with dreadlocks? Let's get him. Like, I'm just going to do it again. In the words of our president.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
It's so ridiculous, right? And again, why are the malls open in December? Like, that's another thing.
Description was of an African-American man with dreadlocks, wearing black with a child. The detained man was sitting with his family eating in the mall when he was handcuffed. In the video, you can hear the man say he hasn't done anything wrong, and a woman asking for more information about what...
Notice how both of the cops don't have masks on? I'm just like you look at the camera panning, and like most people have masks on, and then the cops don't. Right? Again, they're bioweapons straight out of Resident Evil.
Hear the man say he hasn't done anything wrong, and a woman asking for more information about what is happening. Officers ultimately release him. Newdigate's statement went on to say, while the video shows the officers stayed calm and respectful throughout the brief encounter, we must ensure the situation merits...
If some meathead, like goofball, like gets into my personal space with no mask on, that is, no. That is not respectful. That is not calm. You are violating my personal space with no mask on during a pandemic. That is not respectful. I should have the right to sue you for reckless endangerment. You are putting my health at risk, my kids' health at risk, my parents' health at risk. You are putting my cousin's health at risk. Like, that is not calm and respectful. While the video shows the officer stayed calm and respectful, that is not what the video shows. But again, this is the spin.
Calm and respectful throughout the brief encounter, we must ensure the situation merits the response. We are gathering all the facts to evaluate the incident so we can address the concerns people have raised. The video has been circulating on social media all day with many outraged at how the man was treated. You can stay with Wavy News 10 as we continue to investigate the incident. And this also just into the...
But yeah, so like, again, cops are dumb. They're just really, really dumb. Like, if you go... Now, again, there's a pandemic going on, right? And that undercuts this, the whole thing. Like, why the fuck are malls open? Why are the food courts packed in a Like, Jesus Christ. Like, right? But that's neither here nor there. You go to a mall, right? And you have a description. Black person, dreadlocks. Like, honestly, any description that you get of any person, of any race... If you went to a mall, you would find someone that matches that description. That's kind of what malls are. Right? They're where people congregate. Now, I know they shouldn't be open, right? But again, that's kind of what a mall is. That's like saying like, like that's like going to a high school and then looking for someone wearing a fucking sports jersey. Okay, well, chances are you're going to find that and then some. Like, it's just like, it's bizarre. It's like, oh, a black guy with dreadlocks must be our criminal. It's just like... It's just bizarre. It's bizarre and it's strange and it's weird and it's just something that really deranged folks would do. Like, it really is deranged. It's like these cops, like, and they're just gonna go back to work tomorrow. They're just gonna go to work, right? You know, the guys in the office will be like, "Hey, I saw you on the news last night. Get 'em. Hey," right? That's what they're gonna say. "Oh, nice one. Hey," that's what they're gonna say. And then the guy's gonna get embarrassed, and he's gonna go like, "Oh, thanks, guys." Oh, like, that's what they do. That's what they do. They don't give a fuck. They just don't care. They just don't care, right? Because they're not like they're not really human. They're tools of fascism. That's what police are. No ifs, no ands, nada. Imagine being so socially inept that you don't understand personal space. Who said how much space you are entitled to? Z50 if you were in line at a grocery store and I came up to you with no warning and just grabbed your arms, is that not a violation of your personal space? What? How dumb are you, dude? Like, I know you're a Trump voter. I know you're a Trump voter, right? So, in the words of our president,
only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
So I know you're a Trump voter, but geez, man. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint, when they thought about it.
As far as those messages are concerned. But yeah, anyway, let's go. You ready for that? That's my thing that I do. Robert E. Lee statue has been removed from the U.S. Capitol. Let's read. Love it. Love it. A statue of a Confederate General Robert E. Lee was removed from the United States Capitol overnight. The statue has stood with America's first president, George Washington, as the state of Virginia's contribution to the National Statuary Hall collection at the Capitol for more than 100 years. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, a Democrat, announced on Monday that the state will seek to have it replaced with a statue of civil rights icon Barbara Johns. We should all be proud of this important step forward for our Commonwealth and our country, Northam said. The Confederacy is a symbol of Virginia's racist and divisive history, and it is past time we tell our story with images of perseverance, diversity, and inclusion. I look forward to seeing a trailblazing young woman of color represent Virginia in the U.S. Capitol, where visitors will learn about Barbara John's contributions to America and be empowered to create positive change in their communities, just like she did. You can read the rest of this if you want, but there's nothing there. But I just want to talk about this. I love pontificating on statues, right? The point of a statue is not for history. If you think removing a statue is removing history, then you're a dullard. You're dumb. You're not smart. You're dumb. I'm serious. You are a dumb person. You are dull. You are stupid. You have been lied to for your entire life, like Jesus Christ. Now, I know the only reason why you would think statues are how we track and record history is because you don't read books, but I recommend try reading some books. They're pretty good. So a statue is not for, etching something into the historical record. It is for glorifying something in the historical record, okay? Now, you can make an argument that having Confederate statues reminds everyone of the racist history of this country, and we should be reminded of that racist history. I understand that. But counterpoint, fuck you, the statue sucks, get rid of it. These guys were traitors. Just as much as Tommy Tuberville saying we need to overturn the election. They're traitors, right? The 126 members of the House who wanted to overturn the election, they're all traitors, and as far as I'm concerned, they should all be thrown in prison, just like the Confederates did, because they're garbage. They're garbage. Now, when you keep in mind that these statues, like again, the statue was in there for around 100 years. How long ago was the Civil War? I'll let you, it was like 70 years ago, right? So what happened in between that was the KKK started trying to get Confederate statues literally everywhere because it's how they glorified the lost cause narrative of the Confederacy. Literally, these statues were brought forth by the K, right? And y'all are gonna say, it's just our history. It's our history. Motherfucking Robert E. Lee himself said that he didn't want any statues of him, and they don't even listen. They don't even listen to the guy himself, motherfucker. That's how much they don't care about facts. That's how much they don't care about logic, right? These guys are dumb as fuck. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, destroy the statues. If you destroy the statue, do it in a cool way. Like, make sure you get it on video. Like, when they, I think it was in Britain, when they tossed the statue into water. That was awesome. Like, they fucking pulled that guy down and then pushed them into the water. It doesn't get any better than that. Or there was that one statue that was pulled down of Christopher Columbus, where, the Native American, I forget what the group was, but there was a group there singing, and while they took down the statue. And that was just amazing, right? And then there was another statue that was also in Virginia. I want to say the statue is, I want to say it was in Norfolk, but I don't remember. I think it was in Virginia where they had a statue of a Confederate general, and they hung them by the fucking, the traffic light. So they just, everyone, tied a literal noose around the statue's neck of a Confederate general and hung them in the public square. I thought that amazing, right? So get rid of these statues, do it in a creative way, do it in a good way, and let's move on, because we really fucking need to move on. You know what they did in Germany after they fucked up big time? You know what they did? They banned swastikas from the whole country, right? That's what they did. If you draw a swastika on a piece of paper, right, they will know and they will track you down instantly. And there's, you know, that can be you can like have an argument about that, right? But in America, we glorify that shit. Now imagine in Germany, right, they just had they left all the swastikas up. Oh, it's our history. It's our history. Imagine they had statues of Adolf Hitler and fucking Goebbels everywhere. Oh, it's our history. We have to remember our history. It's like, right? I'm like, what the fuck?
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Like, again, they're just not bright. They're not bright. They're dullards. That's what they are. They're dullards. Hello, Mega Slush 96. Keep the statues. Store them for history. Don't venerate them. They don't need to be celebrated. I can understand why someone would want to store the statues somewhere. I get it, right? Like, okay. But, counterpoint, I would rather just throw them in the harbor. Like, that's way cooler. So, that's my position. A statue is there to... Again, Z50, you are a fucking moron. Like, you are, and I know you like me and you think I'm just a dumb kid and you think you're smarter than me, right? I get it, right? You're full of yourself, you're up your own ass, because that's what happens to men. Like, we all know that men get this ego. By the time they're 40 or 50, they ain't changing, right? These guys, like, they are just so up their own asshole, which is weird because they don't wash their own asshole because they think it makes them gay. But they're so up their own ass about everything. Imagine just, yeah... We should just murder protesters. Yeah, I'm just going to post that in the chat room. Look how intelligent I am, guys. I want to murder protesters. Look at me. Trump 2020. Freedom. I know I'm overusing this, but...
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
So stupid, 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 so stupid.
I literally, I can't with these guys. You're at your midlife crisis, you bought a new Corvette. Instead of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on dumbass material possessions, could you give that to me in the form of super chats? You aren't wrong. That would be dope. But how about we keep some, maybe old ones or ones that have a story around them to keep telling? I mean, I'm fine with that. It's just, again, you know, I say that it's up to the people in those communities, first and foremost, right? It's up to those people in those communities what they want to do with the statue, right? Now, we can pontificate on what the coolest things are, but I think first and foremost, it should be the people that live there that decide on where that shit goes. But you have to understand, like, putting things in museums, like, in a way that does glorify them in a lot of ways. Right now, it's less of a glorification, and you can have, like, addendums and amendments in the form of, like, signs with text on it, right? But like, do we really need, like, 15 statues in one museum? Like, really, we only need one, maybe two, right? So, like, get rid of the other ones, melt. You know what they did during the Revolutionary War, right? Was they tore down statues of King George, they melted them down into bullets, and then shot the police with them. That's what they did in the Revolutionary War. So, am I advocating for that? No, we live in a different world, you know, but just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. It was a retweet. I'm just retweeting.
That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
I don't take a position. It's just a retweet. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. Erect Antifa statues. So, this is what we need to do, and I'm not even joking. If you've got land, like, even if it's your front fucking lawn, right? If you've got enough money to commission a statue, like, there's that one, like, statue of, like, Lenin in, like, Portland or something that, like, conservatives were freaking out about or whatever, and it's just on some dude's private property. Like, that's what we need to do. Like, and now I'm not a huge, you know, whatever, but we need to get, like, actual, like, good statues of, like, pretty awesome people. Like, we need to get, like, a statue of, like, an anarchist, like, in black bloc like with a Molotov up in the air, like mid-throw. You know, like imagine that, like someone with like in the mid-throw of a Molotov with the black block on. Imagine that in a statue in front of you, in front of your house. Like people would get so pissed off. And that's how you trigger the conservatives, right? Like people in my town have like Trump 2020 flags still, I know, right? But they have them. Now imagine instead of having like a Biden 2020 flag or whatever, like equivalent cringe, I just have an Antifa fucking statue in my front lawn. That would be way cooler. But unfortunately, I don't have like $20,000 to waste on nothing. So I'm not going to do that. But if someone does have $20,000 that they want to waste on nothing, give it to me. Give it to me. Patreon.com/Saturday1531. Give it to me. Historic scuba diving. I love that. Historic scuba diving. Speaking of scuba diving, we're going to be diving into some cringe here. So there's a little fun thing that happened. So on Twitter over the last week, there's been a huge kind of like meltdown over Jimmy Dore. And as part of those meltdowns, one of my videos was posted on Twitter by No McKee Const. And this video, I woke up. Let me tell you this experience, right? I wake up, right? And whenever I wake up, I always hold the phone, right? I always hold the phone when I wake up. So I'm holding my phone, right? And I check my email because that's what I always do first, right? Let's see if YouTube banned me today or if I can have a normal day or something, right? So I always check my email. Let's see, am I banned from YouTube yet? And then I see like 5 comments on this Jimmy Dore video and I'm like, oh geez, right? So I click on some of them and it's people calling me a tranny. It's like, oh, you're so dumb. You're not a real leftist, you fucking tranny, right? And it's like, okay, that's totally logical. Jimmy Dore fanboys, right? And then I'm perusing, through Twitter or perusing through the comments and I'm like, oh, okay, Numiki Const commented on my thing, right? So then that leads me to believe, okay, let me check Twitter. What could possibly go wrong? So she tweeted out my video. And you look at the comments here, right? Like these comments, we got a lot of motherfucking crazy people here. Now, I'm not going to read them all, but there's a lot of crazy motherfuckers in these comment section, right? Saying that, I'm a crazy person, my video's awful. There's people supporting me, like, Jimmy Dore is pretty funny. I'm a funny person, right? But, like, again, I wake up and I've got, like, all the Jimmy Dore fanboys are flocking my video. And it's like, dude, what is going on here, right? And I'm trying to, like, get to the bottom of it. And then, oh, of course, right? It's just, like, these Twitter fucking, like, swamp creatures, right? It's just like, I don't know, man. This is really funny, right? And I'm just like throwing this out there. If you still like Jimmy Dore, I'm sorry. Get a new grift, okay? And now I got a bunch of people on my video that were like, why are you attacking Jimmy? Why don't you like Medicare for all? Like, this video was made months ago before his latest grift, right? These people don't check the dates. They don't care about anything. They just want to call me a tranny in the comment section, right? Because that's what Jimmy Dore stands do. They're crazy people. They're reactionary goobers, right? This is the Tulsi Gabbard folks. Reminder, Tulsi Gabbard just put out a transphobic bill. Did Jimmy Dore talk about it? No. Did anyone talk about it in the progressive space? Not that I saw. Now, maybe I just missed it. Or maybe no one gives a fuck about transgender issues. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put anyone on blast here, right? But again, if I wake up, right, and the first thing I see are Jimmy Dore fans calling me a tranny in my email inbox, right? I'm sorry, chances are, Jimmy Dore, you're garbage, right? Now, again, if people, like, if I mention something on Twitter, and like a bunch of my fans went to their thing and called them garbage and mean names, I would feel horribly, right? I would feel terrible. And that stuff has happened, right? I've had a long history on the internet. Like, I'm not going to go into story time here, right? But that stuff has happened and it's always embarrassed me. And I've always felt like that, my audience should be a reflection on me. And if my audience is garbage, then I'm garbage, okay? And Jimmy Dore should have that introspection. He should, but he doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck, right? And he placates the right-wing psychopaths, right? A video I made months ago somehow means I'm anti-Medicare for all? What? I'm sorry. Y'all are fucking psychos. You're dumb, you're dullards, and you need to get a fucking life because this shit is pathetic. But anyway, I want to say thanks to Nomiki for sharing my video. So, we'll see, right? Let's see how this goes. But yeah, that's pretty much my story, my show for today. That's all I got. again, I'm not going to be streaming later. I'm going to be getting drunk today. And I'm probably going to be getting drunk a lot this week. So just throwing that out there. The war on Christmas will start tomorrow. The war on Christmas. And, for those of you that don't know what that means, every year I play The Grinch on PlayStation. And in that game, you ruin Christmas, right? It's a game where you play as the Grinch and you destroy Christmas for a bunch of kids. And at the end of the game, you shoot and kill Santa Claus with rotten eggs. You throw so many rotten eggs at Santa Claus that he dies. And I can't think of anything more appropriate for the war on Christmas than killing Santa Claus. So starting tomorrow, I will be beginning my journey to kill Santa Claus. So please join me. And I hope that you enjoy that. You're a gatekeeper to the left. You don't hold politicians accountable. I literally, all these, they're robots, dude. Again, I also got comments on some of my older Jimmy Dore videos, from before that, of people saying, why are you against Medicare for all? It's a video I made in July about how dumb Jimmy Dore is. That means I'm against Medicare for, what? Woohoo! Again, but of course.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
These guys are dumb as fuck, man. They're dumb as fuck. Right? They're just
dumb people, liberal people.
And I do mean liberal people. Jimmy Dore stands, they're capitalists. After all, they're capitalists, right? That's what they are. Thank you for the extra $10 from JL. I appreciate that. Got to make up for the 2 weeks of lost revenue somehow. Let me give you the Nancy Pelosi clap. Anyway, that's all for today, folks. I might clip the little thing at the end for Jimmy Dore because I like free views, so that's probably what I'm going to do. But either way, I'll see y'all later. If anyone wants to reach out to me, you can join my Discord. I recommend joining my Discord as soon as possible. You never know when things are going to happen. So join my Discord ASAP. Follow me on any social media of your choice, right? Give me money on Patreon. I love Patreon, right? Don't you? Give me money or else. Super chat me, right? If you want to give me money on PayPal, paypal.me/Andrea the doggy, all one word. I'll see ya, right? Thank you. I appreciate that. And goodbye. I had a whole thing set up there, then I realized that I fucked it up. So thank you, goodbye. I fucked it up again. Jesus Christ. I'm just turning it off. I'm just gonna turn it off. God fucking damn it. What a terrible show. I swear to...
I'm about to be 34 and I have no family.
Look, talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple school, not daycare, school. Look, talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. They don't know quite what to do. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. Presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose? Presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my...
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Isn't it wonderful to allow protest? No. Isn't it wonderful to allow protest? No.
And he's like this, and we will, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And this is on live television.
The truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, the truth of the matter is that when you look, the truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, in a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was.